from the beginning. How you know it's big? No little boy, women, linen. Big Ben Frank got the rubber band splitting. Big body Benz with the duffel bags in it. Winning, right from the beginning. How you know it's big? No little boy, women, linen. Big Ben Frank got the rubber band splitting. Big body Benz with the duffel bags in it. Winning.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Tobias from Noematic Elevation, coming at you with another video. I just kind of want to give an update. I know it's been a while since I posted a video of a couple of things that we're working on, and then I talk about some of the questions that I've been getting because they're repetitive, and I want to try and answer them here for everybody that we're working with. We do have a few updates coming up. Actually going to be working with Boogie to bring you guys some content on Clubhouse as well as YouTube and some other places. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with who G Boogie is. You can go look him up online, G Boogie America. That's where I learned how to do business credit at. I've been doing it for a while, and you can take a look at those videos and look at how old they are. And those are reposts. So I started doing this stuff at a pretty young age. We're putting some things together, some ebooks and some products and stuff. So bear with me, and we'll get back to doing more content. But I want to make sure that we have something for you guys that's beneficial to what's coming up with this recession. And that is the other thing that I want to get at and talk to you guys about as well. It's about to get rough, bruh. I don't know if you guys are actually paying attention or if anybody actually looks at these Fed meetings. They call them CPI reports, and that is an inflation report. They got a few different types, but the one that just came out wasn't good at all, and it was bad. So until the inflation comes down, what they do to offset the inflation is raise the interest rates. Inflation is nowhere near to coming down. They're trying to get it down to, they say they want it at 4.5, which is like a moving target right now. But inflation is up close to 9%. It will hit 9% if not. But it's like 8-9%. I'll get the exact numbers for you when I'm not driving. But yeah, that means that whatever the rates are right now is just going to continue to go up. That's going to affect everything. That's going to affect jobs. That's going to affect housing. That's going to affect your mortgage, credit card bills. Like, that is going to cripple the country. We're going to go into a recession. It may be a depression. The thing that separates this, because I was investing in 2008 in real estate and doing business credit and stocks and everything. It's a great opportunity to buy if you want to hold. Let me say that first and foremost, because those of us who understand what's going on, we're going to buy now. But if you're out there actively trying to purchase any homes or anything, or you don't have your plan straight, you're not planning to get ready for what's coming as far as getting your credit straight, getting your business credit together. If you got a business, setting one up so you can benefit off of having the write-offs of when you're setting up your business. Or if you don't have a trust is mandatory. If you have any assets, anything valuable, a trust is mandatory. I can't express how much that is important and how much people don't know. I don't care if you're 18 years old. My son is 18. He has a trust. You need it. You should be operating that out of the gate. You should be operating like that. You should not be really using your social for anything but it's a straw man, quote unquote, to purchase assets using your credit. Once you get the asset paid off, that needs to go into your trust. With this inflation and things going like it's going, they're saying 2023, but I think you're going to start feeling it. This is just my prediction, looking at what I'm seeing on the numbers and our business flow right now. I think you're going to start seeing it real heavy right around holiday time, going into the beginning of next year. They're saying that they're going to raise rates until summer of 2023. That's the projection, but that's a sliding thing. And that actually could change. So I think it's going to change. I think this is going to be a global recession. It's not just going to be here. It's not just going to be this one thing. If you look up the news right now, the UK is actually having issues with the pound. It crashed the other day. And it's going to get real unstable. You're going to start hearing about this country's currency crashing, this country's currency crashing. So, which leads me to this. People are asking me, do I think that there's a new currency coming? Yes, it's already here. I don't know how it's going to look necessarily, but I think it's going to be a combination of crypto and fiat currency. But we're already in a digital system. Everything's digital. So, I mean, to say that it's something new, I think that they're going to have to do something to reset everything, just because the prices have gotten out of control to where people can't go to a 9-to-5 and afford to pay their mortgage or their rent or survive. At this point, the price of food, I think the chicken that I normally buy, we buy it in bulk. The price is quadrupled in the last 2 or 3 months. You're seeing it at the gas pump. I don't think that resetting the currency, if you don't know what's going on, is going to have any effect on you if you can't take advantage of it. So I would say to start studying now if you don't, or find somebody who knows what's going on and start working with them. But a currency reset, I don't think is going to be as big of a deal as people are making it. I mean, they can get up tomorrow and change the currency, and you still got to get up and breathe, and eat, and go to work. You'll figure it out. What I do think it is if you're prepared for what's going on, you can take advantage of opportunities. And that's what's hurting a lot of people that I talk to. They're not ready. You're going to be ready. It's going to happen whether you're ready or not. I'll say that. You better get ready if you ain't ready. If you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. Sugar free, shout out. I think that you have an opportunity. I'm still going with the 6 months, and you can kind of be in position. It's a build though. Like, I get people that are calling and thinking that you're going to be able to get up and have your trust and do all of this stuff like tomorrow and then next week, like it's on. Doesn't work like that. It's a build. You've been going your whole life for a period of time without knowing this information or having it set up, and then you want it to be the fourth quarter Michael Jordan Game 7. No, it's not. This is a lifestyle change. It's a lifestyle change on how you operate. It's a lifestyle change on how you spend your money, what you spend your money on, whether you're spending your money and getting credit on your business for it. It's building your business file out. It's educating yourself about opportunities in the business that you're in. Not just saying you're in business, or I got a t-shirt business or a nail salon, but like actually physically getting it done. You have a concept of something and you want to start telling yourself, yeah, I'm this, I'm that, but you haven't taken the steps to do that. And if you don't take those steps now to get prepared to do the things that are going to benefit you in the future, as far as building a business and also what type of business that you're in, you're going to have a rough time, man, for about 2-3 years. This thing's about to get bad. If you thought 08 was something, wait till you see this. What really should have happened is really in the late 90s, they start holding it up. But in 2006 is when they say 2008, but it was really 2006 when the crash started. Just like now, the crash is really starting now, but it started last year, but people are going to say 2023, 2022. But it really started right after they cut the stimulus stuff off and the economy opened back up. That's when the crash really started. It's actually happening now, but it hasn't hit you enough to see. People are still walking around like everything's cool, blowing a bag and everything, man. I'm telling you, I seen it, went through it. If you do not prepare, this is why we start coming out with this information, because I wish somebody would have stopped and told us before we lost 3 or 4 properties out of what we had at the time. Hey, it's, this is a CPI report. This is a credit report. This is how you look up these businesses in your industry. Is your industry doing good? Do you know what the codes are for their government registration? Are they lendable? What banks are tightening up? Who's closing down branches? Are those branches, if banks are closing branches, does that mean that they're going to be giving more money out or less money? What mortgage companies are changing their products? Which brings me to this also. The Bank of America thing. I'm getting a lot of that. And I'm sorry if I'm rambling, but I'm trying to get it all in one video, like a little update. This is also something that they do towards the end of cycles. And I'm not saying that I don't like the program, but the minority program that they have for these banks and these loans, 0% down, qualifying you without putting any money down and using your bills or whatever special programs to get you qualified at 6%. Where was this when it was 2%, 3%? When you start seeing these programs, it's just like another version of an adjustable. This is the end of the cycle. So when it's not affordable, that's when these programs are coming out to help people who wouldn't normally be able to qualify. That should be a red flag, a super red flag. Last time this happened, it was the interest only and the adjustables. This is a similar program, and the stated income as well. There was a combination of that back in 2006, 2008. It's happening now, but the only difference is they're calling it something else, but it's the same play. They just reversed it. People who are going to go get in these loans need to understand that when the market gets bad, people lose their jobs as well. So even though it may be okay today and you're looking at staying there for 10 years and you're going to be able to afford it, you need to really take a good look and a gander at what industry are you working in, what profession. Is that a profession that's going to possibly be affected by any kind of economic crash? And what does that look like? Have you been at your job 10 years, 15 years? Are you a supervisor? Did you just start? Like, these are all things that we don't think about when we're considering to get a place. Now, I know life is life. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. It's just, I have to get a house. I don't have anywhere to stay. Understandable. But if you have time and resources and you know, you got to weigh those things. Like, is this the best time? Can I wait? Can I rent an apartment or maybe stay with a family member or, you know, downsize, save money and buy a house at 40 to 50% of the price in a year, 2 years? Or do I need to get it now? Is my job going to be around? Am I in an industry that's going to be fading away? Because we're also going through a cycle of moving towards technology. So a lot of the old brick and mortar jobs are going away. Start driving around your neighborhoods and look and see how many of these commercial buildings are open. That pandemic changed a lot, and it was a chance for technology to get tested, of people working from home through Zoom, GoToMeeting, Microsoft Teams, all of these different programs and stuff that allow people to network, and also jobs to have people work from home. And it went successful as far as I know. I would suggest that you guys take a look at some of those things that I talked about and really look at and break down these programs. If somebody is going to sell you a house, like right now in this market with the interest rates up, even though it's still historically low and people are saying that, but the house prices are so high. So yeah, 6%, but in 2006 or 2005, when it was 6%, 7%, the houses were, you know, 60% of the price that it is now. So though I understand what people are saying about the interest rates and historically low, that's kind of kind of doesn't apply. I mean, it does, you can say that, but then you can look at the house prices. So what was the interest rates at 6% when the house prices were 180 versus the interest rates being at 6% and the house is 380 now? So to give you like some correlation to that. But the main thing that I see right now is people are looking for alternative ways of funding. And I'm telling you, when the banks tighten up, if you don't have your credit straight, or you're not trying to look towards credit card funding as an option, even if you don't want to use it, lines of credit, even if you don't want to use it, you need to have it. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. Make sure you get all of this stuff together for yourself so you're prepared. And that's what we're pushing with our 3-tier system. We get your personal credit together, get you funded, get your business credit together, get you funded, and then we put that in a trust for you and give you a roadmap on how you can leverage that credit to purchase things, especially coming up now, like putting down payments on houses and flipping homes and stuff. But you want to wait until you get a good deal, and they're coming. They are coming. You can also do tax deed sales. Almaz is a good friend of mine, and that's where I'm going. She's on Clubhouse as well. I think it's ALMAZ. You can look her up. Go listen to her calls and her tax deed sale talks, and she has a whole private class for you. And we're going to be doing some networking and stuff together as well, because I want to bring that to our community of followers as well. I think that that's going to be a great opportunity for people to leverage their credit and put some money in their pocket while things come along, as far as the recession and depression and all the boos and bahs and whoop-de-wops and whoop-de-whoops, as they say. I do just want to encourage everybody through this time, because it's going to get rough. When it seems really, really, really dark, you guys can always have information that you can intake. Don't get so down to where you're not working towards your goal, because it's not easy, especially starting out not knowing stuff. Like, there was a lot of things that I didn't know when I start learning about credit and business credit, and it can get overwhelming. And then it seems like it takes forever, but then you'll look back and see, man, that only took like 6 months to a year, and I got, 80 to 100K. I'm bagging up. Then it gets easier from there as you level up. Once you get through your first round and you get the cycles and stuff going, and you get your structure set up, and your understanding about how to actually maneuver and use the trust and your credit along with the 3-tier system, you'll say, oh, okay. Because then there's another level to that. There's offshore stuff, but you got to have like some cash flowing business. This is not something that you're going to be able to get into and do, especially when you get to the overseas stuff, if you don't have something cash flowing. So make sure that, whatever it is, that you're not taking your credit and dumping $50,000 or $60,000 into something that you have no knowledge of. You don't know how to set up. You don't have a CPA. You don't have an attorney. That's all needed. And that's some of the stuff that we're going to try and come bring you on this channel. The final thing is and then maybe I'll cut it here, the 1099A stuff. So I'm working on some videos, because I have gotten it to work in the past, but I know why it worked and why it shouldn't have worked. And it wasn't a thing of, it didn't have anything to do with the 1099A itself. It was the actual process of cleaning your credit. So to give you an example, I hear people say, oh, my 1099 was accepted. No, you send the IRS something, they're going to stamp something back and let you know it was received. It was not accepted. That doesn't mean that they're going to go do the paperwork and everything. What happens is, when you file your taxes, that's when they're going to do an audit of your file. So if you sent the 1099A in and you didn't know how to file your taxes, nothing's going to happen. It's sitting there. 1. 2, the 1099A, people need to go read the instructions, and I'm doing a video right now on publication 1212 from the IRS. That's the instructions on the 1099 OID, and then I got the instructions for the 1099A and C. Read them. I'm going to read them just online, and I want somebody to tell me where it says that somebody is going to pay your bills. Period. So what's happening for you guys that have had success, I'll tell you, and any smart person that actually goes and reads the directions will figure this out. I'm going to throw you a jewel. What's happening is, and this is not because you're doing anything, it's because they're choosing to. It's not because you did some sort of magic thing with some paperwork and you got it to go through if you did slide through. They're just writing it off. They're writing it off as a loss, and they're getting tax credits from the Treasury. That's what people are running around and saying, that, oh, they're going to pay my bill. They're going to pay my bill. No, they wrote it off. And then you know what happens? What you guys don't get, and I went through this with homes. I fought off 5 or 6 different servicing companies. They're going to sell it. Somebody else is going to come after you. You beat them, so-called in court or whatever. They're going to sell it. Somebody else is going to come after you. So they're not actually, I want people to understand that they're not actually taking a dollar or writing a check out, the government, to the company that you're trying to buy a car from or a credit card from, and saying, hey, this is for John Doe, the straw man. That's not what's happening. It's credits. So they're writing it off. Maybe they need the loss. Maybe you sent it to them, or they don't want to deal with it or whatever, and say, all right, man, well, just write it off. Write it off as a loss on our taxes. That's what they're doing. It's not, not any kind of secret magic potion of this paperwork packet that you guys are paying $3, $4, $5, $10,000 for. It's not because you put a trustee on there on the 1099A. You don't need a trustee to do that. It was working without that before, right? So what's putting a trustee on there gonna do? I'm gonna tell you this, and I'll say this, and this is a warning for everybody. Best believe, if you got a check, they're gonna audit your file one day, and it better be right. It might be 6 months from now, it might be a year from now, but if you had somebody do something for you and you got a check and you don't understand why you got it, to the point to where if somebody comes and knocks on your door and says, hey, I'm such and such from the CID, IRS, FBI, whoever, you better know what you're talking about when they get there and why you can do it. Because they know whether you can or can't do it or whether it's right. 2, you have a lot of people out here that are in these groups following these people that have not done the 1099A process or had success in it. They're selling you some packets of something that they've never done. You're always going to hear of somebody that did it. You're always going to hear somebody say that they know. You're going to get people talking in the comments that have read the instructions but ain't pulled the trigger about how they know, and you got to send it this way and do this. Start asking these people, have they done it, man? It's not rock. I know you want to believe them. It sounds good. Sounds good. Ask them, have they done it? If you believe that, I'll sell you a piece of the Golden State Bridge right now. Just give me $100 grand. I'll write you up a title. It'll be. I'll go to Office Max and get a stamp and crimp it for you. It'll be official. Some official BS. I'm sorry you can't cuss on here. But yeah, man, you guys are spending money that you could be using towards paying your bills down, getting your business started, stocking up on your food, toiletry, stuff like that, and giving it to these cats for some stuff for a dream, man. It's not, if you just read the instructions, you would keep your money in your pocket. But they know you're not going to read it. They know when they hand you this stuff, you're not going to read it. And then they haven't done it, so they can't tell you what's wrong. How can somebody tell you what's wrong with something and they haven't actually done it themselves? How do you know the outcome? How do you know why it works and why it doesn't? So I'm not saying not to study the stuff. I'm with you guys. I look at it too. I know a way to do it, but it's not secret. It's the same thing that they've been doing. Why not do this? I don't know how old the United States has been around. What, a couple of 400 years? How long has Britain been around, been a country? How long has Africa been a country? They're making money. They're doing trades. They have a government. They have municipalities. They have cities. Why don't you start by studying how that works? Let me say it again. Why don't you study how that works? Aren't you supposed to know thy enemy? So instead of thinking of it of tearing something down, blank your slate and start studying how the United States operate. Is it a trust? How do trust operate? How does the United States own the Postal Service? How do they have agencies? How is all this stuff structured? How is the money passing through? How are promissory notes created? What are warrants? What's a warrant? Are they monetizing these things when you go to court? Yeah. How's that being done? Can you do it? Remember, they follow the rules, y'all. It's not, if it's legal and lawful, there's an instruction for it. This is the United States government. There's an instruction sheet for it, bro. Go read the instructions. Just like you do with anything else. You get something, you pop the instructions open. But what's happening is we're listening to other people and not checking the information. Anybody who knows something should be able to tell you the source information of where they got it, and they should be able to show you some success of how it was used and be able to explain it, like you're explaining it to a 5th grader. They can't do that. They're hustling you. And some of you guys aren't coming out and saying that you lost some money and you got hustled because you don't want to be embarrassed. But you know it. I've been through it. I done lost some money. I done got hustled out here when I first started with all of this stuff, thinking it was some secret account that somebody was going to pay all my bills off on. I wasted about 4 or 5 years studying that, but I was smart enough to be doing my credit at that time. That's something I've always done. If I would have been without that, I would have been rough. But those of you guys who paid, man, come out and start telling these people that you ain't had no success, that all of a sudden you can't get a hold of anybody, or it's your fault, or oh, you didn't do the paperwork right. Yeah, come out and start talking about what's happening. That way you guys can help the other new people, the new generation of millennials and stuff that's coming in and seeing this stuff for the first time and getting excited like you were, to keep them from getting their head knocked off. And that's just real talk. So be honest. For those of you guys who are doing these processes, I would say study myself. I wouldn't go pay anybody to do it. I would study that myself, because that's something that when they're giving you this paperwork, you got people that are sending things in, and these people aren't going to be around, man. You're not going to be able to call them, and they're not responsible for what you send into the IRS. You are. They're not going to come. You can't go say, oh, Joe Blow told me to send this in and all of that. That ain't going to work. That's not going to work. They're not going to be hearing any of that. So I would suggest that you guys take a deep dive into the study of the instructions of the paperwork that you guys are using, and start asking them, have they done it? You know what? Read the instructions and then go ask them some questions. Tell them you got some questions and have the instructions in front of you and see how that works out. You see what I'm saying? Do that first. They call that due diligence. To close, man, I just want to say that if you know what's going on right now, even if you're at zero right now, man, even if you have to go get a job, whatever, start hustling and building your credit now. That's your key to financial freedom and wealth. If you didn't get left a trust fund, or you don't have no job where you're making 6 figures, you're gonna have to start it with your credit, and you're gonna have to learn how to leverage all of that to get yourself something up and going, man. Otherwise, you're gonna have a long 3 years. For those of you guys that are on the fence about committing an investment in yourself, time is of the essence, man. I mean, you don't want to wait until they're not giving the credit out no more. Now you got 2 or 3 years. Everybody's running around and made the money already, and now you're just now getting into the credit game, and it's tightened up again. Now is the time to strike, to get your stuff ready before they start getting on the news and telling everybody how bad it is for the common person that's not looking at any of this stuff. And get your affairs in order. Get your bills cut down, cut your subscriptions, cut out some of your traveling, buying Jordans and all the extra stuff. Start putting that money away. It adds up. Or put it towards that business that you've been thinking about doing, or that you want to do, man. You have a dream, you got to go after it. I'd rather fail going after my dream than to fail thinking about starting a dream. That's the only way you're going to learn. And sometimes it's painful. Man, I've had several failed businesses. I might have some more. I'll get up and do it again. Then you'll start understanding why it's good to have a trust and having a CPA, and how you're not really losing that money. You're getting it back. And the government is doing it right when you read the instructions. Tobias from Noematic Elevation out. Be looking out. We're coming out with those ebooks for you, the business credit. And also, we're going to be doing authorized trade lines as well. And putting out some information on CPNs and stuff on the proper way to use it. I've been kicking it around, and I talk with my people. So we are going to do some CPNs, but I just don't come start asking me about scamming or anything. I'm not going to answer that. And as a matter of fact, I don't want to do business with you if you don't know what that is, what the CPN is for, and how to use it. If you're just out here to juice them, I don't want nothing to do with that, bruh. Nothing to do with that. They can be used appropriately. They're used every day. Been being used since before I was born. So that's pretty much all that I had. But just I know it's a little bit of a long video, but I haven't been up in a while. Just want you guys to be aware of that, man. And just please, with the 1099A questions, I'm working on doing the videos and stuff for you guys for that, just to put the research out and at least the instructions up, so people can have a video to go look at if they don't want to actually take the 5 seconds to download the PDF. But man, just go read the instructions, man. If you read the instructions, they're mixing and matching stuff together that don't go together. The real true way to wealth is to learn how to operate out of a trust. That's the only thing they didn't teach us in school, which is a major part of everything. And it's not the government's responsibility for you to go read the instructions for the forms. Nobody's tricking you, bro. Nobody's tricking you. The trick is them not teaching it in public school. But that's your parents' responsibility to find out and teach you. And some of our parents didn't have that information. So that's the only thing that I would say where the game is, unfair, if you want to say that. But once you get to a certain age, people doing this paperwork want to say that they're at the age of majority. Yeah, age of majority means you're responsible for your business affairs. So you're telling people that you're not going to go listen to somebody off the internet without doing due diligence on whatever they're saying. So if they're telling you to send this paperwork in, then that means that you're going to go read the instructions and do all your fact checking. If you go online right now, you can start Googling Winston Shroud, Gene Keating, Roger Elvick. I mean, the list is long, bruh. Go back and start studying all of that stuff and see what the result was. Creditors in Commerce, Jack Smith, Brandon Adams, Gordon Hall. Yeah, studied all of that stuff at length. So you can see the history of where you're at, and you'll see that it's just a reflip. They ain't do nothing. It's just it's another crowd coming in. Just generation wise, this happens every 10 years. Surprisingly, right around a crash. Right around an economic crash. This stuff was not popular when everybody was getting their PPP funds. All of you guys who I want to separate from the government. You wouldn't have got that PPP check though. You took them benefits, huh? So let's cut that out. Like, that's some fake stuff that goes on. You can't be on both sides of the fence. So if you want to be private the correct way, you need to learn how to operate out of trust, period, point blank. Your credit has to be good. And if you do have a business, then those businesses need to be set up properly by a CPA or somebody who's aware of how to do bookkeeping for trust. And you will see a big difference in the success of whatever you're doing. I guarantee it. That's the biggest part that I see with clients that we got coming in, especially for business services. They'll tell you that they got their business set up. I just need to do my personal credit and my trust. And then you go look at their business file, and it is not right. They don't have any financials. They're not registered to do anything with the government. They don't have any orders on their DMV. Dun & Bradstreet, Experian business, Equifax business, none of that's done. But they think that they're about to go somewhere and somebody's going to give them $100,000 or $200,000. Was there a time when that was cracking? Yep. Not now. Because guess what happened? Everybody got that $100,000 when it was easy to get. When you could just slap some authorized trade lines on your credit and walk right down to Staples and get $10,000, $20,000 worth of credit. Or walk straight to the bank and get approved for $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 credit cards. Yeah, that got blown up like 10 years ago, man. You can cancel that. They done made adjustments. See, as you adjust, they adjust. You think that they're not looking at their bottom line? So, just food for thought, man. Tobias from Noematic Elevation. Sorry for the rambling, but I wanted to go on ahead and just give you guys an update and let you know that we're here, we're working, we got you. All right.
Winning right from the beginning. How you know it's big? No little boy, women, linen. Big Ben Frank got the rubber band splitting. Big body Benz with the duffel bags in it.